Your grandfather is dead.
I don't even know him.
Can I stay here and work on my marriage?
Kristen?
I landed safe in Italy. What did my grandfather do?
My dying wish is that you be the new boss.
In the middle of a war with our enemies, the Romanos.
You're supposed to appear strong.
He tried to kill me.
The film commences in Italy, where Bianca, a woman of significance, navigates through a courtyard strewn with the lifeless bodies of Mafia members, the aftermath of a violent shootout. She pays her respects to her boss, Don Bolano, by kissing his forehead, a symbolic act that ignites a war between Mafia families. Shortly after this poignant moment, she attempts to contact Kristen, a middle-aged mother preoccupied with the emotional preparations for her child Nikki's departure to college. Kristen, a suburban housewife married to a band member named Paul, leads an ostensibly ordinary life. However, beneath the surface, she grapples with challenges at her pharmaceutical marketing job where her efforts are consistently undermined by her colleagues' misogynistic comments. One day, after a taxing day at work, Kristen finally responds to Bianca's persistent calls. Despite the intriguing invitation to fly to Rome for her grandfather Don Bolbano's funeral, she declines, citing work responsibilities and commitments to her husband Paul. However, her seemingly mundane life takes a shocking turn when she discovers Paul's infidelity with their child's guidance counselor in their own basement. Devastated by the betrayal, Kristen seeks solace in a self-defense class with her best friend Jenny, an international lawyer. During this cathartic session, Kristen shares her decision to divorce Paul and reveals an exciting offer from Bianca. Encouraged by Jenny to prioritize herself for once, Kristen hesitantly agrees to accept the invitation to Italy, her dream vacation destination, hoping to enjoy the company of handsome Italian men while leaving behind the sorrow of her failed marriage. Upon her arrival in Rome, Kristen encounters a charming Italian man named Lorenzo. Their brief, enchanting encounter is interrupted by Lorenzo's Aunt Esmeralda, who urges him to hurry. Despite the interruption, Kristen and Lorenzo manage to exchange numbers, promising to message each other later. Not long after this encounter, two men named Dante and Aldo arrive to escort Kristen. Unbeknownst to her, they are Mafia bodyguards. In their haste to attend Don Bolbano's funeral, the bodyguards speed past famous tourist attractions in Rome. Kristen, preoccupied with changing clothes for the funeral, hardly notices the picturesque scenery along the way. They finally arrive at a church near Rome just in time for Don Bolbano's funeral. Here, Kristen meets Bianca, who introduces her to Don Bolbano's great-grandson, Fabrizio Bolano, a somewhat unpredictable character. The solemn funeral is followed by a procession carrying Don Bolbano's coffin through the streets of the small town. When Kristen inquires about Don Bolbano's profession, Bianca explains that he was a winemaker. Suddenly, chaos ensues as shots are fired around the coffin and those carrying it. A fierce shootout breaks out between the Bolano family and their rivals, the Romano family. Dante, one of Kristen's bodyguards, skillfully causes two Romano motorcyclists to fall. The relentless Romano hitmen, now pursuing the Bolanos on foot, continue their chase. Despite the chaos, Kristen manages to stay with the family as they safely return to the car and escape. Upon arriving at the Bolano mansion, the bewildered Kristen demands an explanation. Bianca reveals that the Romano family assassinated her grandfather during a meeting between the two families, where Don Romano is also killed. Bianca unveils a video from her grandfather, revealing that the Romanos were behind her father's untimely death before her mother whisked her away to America. In a shocking twist, grandfather Bolano's last wish is disclosed. Kristen must assume the role of the new head of the Bolano family, with Bianca as her right hand. This revelation doesn't sit well with Fabrizio, who harbors ambitions of becoming a boss. However, Kristen yearns to return to her normal life back home after her dream vacation in Italy. She receives a call from Lorenzo, but Dante, reminding her of her new role as a boss, smashes her phone, asserting that she shouldn't be conversing with strangers. Determined to leave the Bolano house, Kristen is intercepted by Bianca, who points out that she is in a foreign land without a working phone and is potentially a target for the Romano family. To ease the tension, Bianca suggests that Kristen make wine as a sign of trust. She provides Kristen with a new secure phone to contact Lorenzo, but there's a catch: Kristen must agree to attend a meeting with the Romano family's new Don. Bianca hopes that Kristen can extend an olive branch by proposing a territorial deal to Don Romano to restore peace between the feuding families. Reluctantly, Kristen agrees and undergoes a makeover with Bianca's help, transforming into a Mafia Donna. Escorted by Dante and Aldo, Kristen arrives at the restaurant where the meeting will be held. She greets the female waiter kindly before sitting opposite the new Don Romano, Carlo, a charming and captivating figure who immediately captures Kristen's attention. Although Kristen offers part of the Bolano land, Carlo seems uninterested. As the drinks flow, Kristen becomes quite drunk. Carlo seizes the opportunity to charm her further, and the meeting takes a romantic turn under somewhat hazy circumstances. Kristen agrees to join Carlo for more drinks in his hotel room, implying that things might get intimate. Both head to Carlo's room with their bodyguards. Each guard checks for hidden weapons, and after being cleared, they are ordered to wait outside the bedroom door while the couple gets busy. Just before things get too intimate, Kristen quickly excuses herself to go to the bathroom. Seizing the moment, Carlo reveals a bottle of poison he had hidden and quietly pours it into Kristen's drink. Kristen eventually returns, sips the poisoned drink, and continues interacting with Carlo, who cruelly hints that she will soon die from the poison. However, it turns out to be Carlo who is dying because Kristen had switched their drinks when she had called her guard. He starts to panic because he didn't intend to kill Carlo, but he dies nonetheless. A fight breaks out between the guards, but Aldo and Dante emerge as the winners. Kristen's life took a treacherous turn, like a noir film unraveling in the shadowed alleys of her existence. As Dante and Aldo discreetly disposed of the lifeless body, Lorenzo and Bianca arrived at a macabre family reunion. But this was no ordinary gathering. It was a symphony of danger and whispered allegiances. A warning was sent, an ominous message carved in flesh. Carlos's severed hand dispatched back to the Romano family. Carlos's cousin, Mamoni, stepped into the void, ascending as the new Don Romano. His title bore both power and peril. Mamoni wasted no time. He ordered a hitman named Bruno, a shadow with a silenced pistol, to eliminate the new Don Bolano. The Bolano family villa simmered with tension. Fabrizio, a tempest of emotions, clashed with Bianca. The conflict with the Romanos escalated, and Fabrizio's hot temper flared. He chafed at Kristen's ignorance of the Mafia's intricate dance, a world where loyalty and betrayal waltzed in equal measure. Kristen, still blissfully unaware of the Bolano family's illicit enterprises, received an impromptu crash course. Feeling the walls close in, Kristen sought refuge in Lorenzo's enigmatic presence. She arrived at his secluded house, flanked by bodyguards masquerading as cousins. Lorenzo's excitement was palpable, and they gathered around a table laden with secrets and pasta. Lorenzo's newly developed line. As night draped its velvet cloak, the atmosphere between Kristen and Lorenzo crackled. Their gazes lingered, hinting at a kiss, a forbidden fruit dangling just out of reach. But fate is a cruel director. An urgent alarm interrupted their fragile intimacy, a Zoom meeting, a digital tether to a world of corporate indifference. Kristen hurried home, her bodyguards trailing like silent shadows. There, Aldo revealed a heartbreaking truth. His mother's medications had run dry, and poverty barred the pharmacy's door. Kristen made a choice: her guards would tend to Aldo's mother instead of protecting her. Unbeknownst to her, danger slithered within the villa's opulence. Bruno, armed and lethal, infiltrated her Zoom meeting. Her boss and colleagues flicked off her presentation, indifferent to her voice. But Kristen was no helpless victim. Bruno's attack triggered instincts honed in self-defense classes. She discarded her high-heeled shoe, wielding it as a weapon. The room became an arena, and she fought back, stabbing Bruno in the eye until darkness claimed him. Back in the virtual realm, her shaken demeanor was misread as drunkenness. Her boss seized the moment, firing her without remorse. Unfazed, Kristen cleaned herself up and returned to Lorenzo's haven. Intimacy bloomed anew, a fragile respite from the chaos. 3 years later, Dante and Aldo found her, their admiration echoing through the night. Bianca delivered news of an upcoming meeting with the Romanos, an opportunity to prove her mettle. A Mafia Donna's journey, the Romanos and the Bolanos, their enmity etched in blood, finally found common ground. The original territory offer was accepted, and a fragile truce settled over their warring factions. Kristen, an unexpected player in this dangerous game, earned respect from the men at the clandestine meeting. But respect was a double-edged blade, and Kristen's path was fraught with peril. In the quiet solitude of Bolano Park, Fabrizio emerged a tempest of contradictions. His eyes held admiration for her bravery, linking it to the Bolano blood coursing through her veins. As a sign of acceptance, he bestowed upon her a family ring, an emblem of loyalty and danger. Kristen, now officially one of them, stood at the precipice of a treacherous destiny. Bianca, perceptive and kind, approached Kristen. She saw beyond the veneer of power and brutality. Kristen's true nature, the kindness that defied the shadows, gave Bianca pause. The story of her grandfather's compassion resonated, the high-tech prosthetic leg gifted to protect her from childhood bullies. Bianca believed Kristen could be a mafia donna unlike any other, a beacon of morality in a murky underworld. Inspired by this revelation, Kristen glimpsed a new opportunity. She delved into smuggling, peddling American drugs to the less fortunate. But her heart remained tethered to the Bolano vineyard, a legacy tainted by crime. Balancing compassion and cunning, she aimed to infuse innovation into her role as Donna Bolano. Life in Italy grew on Kristen. The vineyard's earthy scent, the clandestine deals, it became her rhythm. Amidst the intrigue, her romance with Lorenzo blossomed. They were more than lovers. They were co-conspirators in a dangerous dance. Along Venetian canals, Lorenzo hinted at her secrets, the locked doors within her. He yearned to visit her home, but Kristen hesitated. Revealing her family's mafia connections was a Pandora's box she dared not open. Then came Paul, a specter from her past. He disrupted their idyllic world, seeking Kristen. Lorenzo, disappointed, retreated. Aldo and Dante, loyal sentinels, escorted Paul to Villa Bolano. The truth emerged: Paul was a desperate man chasing her for money. Kristen's gentle facade cracked. The Bolano family urged her to take a stand to sever ties with this disrespectful parasite. She ordered Paul escorted back to the airport, his presence a bitter reminder of her past. The drug smuggling business thrived, and the vineyard flourished. But Kristen harbored a secret desire to leave the mafia life behind. Lorenzo represented normalcy, a chance at redemption. She confided in Bianca, who listened with empathy. Was this choice truly hers, or a way to please yet another man? Bianca's hope echoed, "May Kristen find her own path, unburdened by expectations." And so, at the next meeting between the mafia families, Kristen made her announcement. Kristen and Fabrizio joined the Romanos and other players for their final meeting. The stakes were high, and the room hummed with suppressed animosity. The Romanos voiced concerns about Kristen's control over port inspectors in her medical business, demanding a share of her operations. But Kristen, ever the enigma, stunned them all. She announced her resignation, appointing Bianca as her successor, a move that disappointed Fabrizio, who had harbored hopes of becoming the new Don Bolano. Romano's suspicion flared, leading to a confrontation. But before tempers could ignite, chaos erupted. The room was invaded by undercover officers Lorenzo and Esmeralda. The shootout was fierce, and amidst the chaos, Lorenzo sought cover with Kristen. Their connection, once a ruse, now felt like a betrayal. Lorenzo's confession, feelings that had bloomed despite the deception, only deepened Kristen's sorrow. The police emerged victorious, but Kristen's battle was far from over. In court, she faced charges of mafia involvement. Her state-appointed lawyer seemed ill-prepared, but then Jenny, the steadfast friend, appeared, offering unexpected support. Kristen's reputation and community contribution swayed the judge, clearing her of the charges. Victory tasted bittersweet. Outside the courthouse, Lorenzo approached her. His feelings laid bare, but Kristen was no longer the desperate romantic. She severed their connection, leaving their relationship behind. Back home, tragedy awaited. Dante, wounded, revealed Bianca's peril. Rushing to the winery, Kristen found Fabrizio, a desperate man, holding Paul and Nikki hostage. His confession, Bianca's murder, and his bid for power sent shockwaves. When Fabrizio aimed at Nikki, Kristen acted. A fight ensued, and she kicked Fabrizio where it hurt most. Bianca arrived, her prosthetic leg a testament to survival. Fabrizio fired, escaping into the labyrinthine machinery. Kristen ordered Bianca to protect Nikki. Desperate, she hunted Fabrizio, finding him on a precarious platform. A life and death struggle unfolded. Kristen turned a knob, releasing scalding steam. Fabrizio attacked, and as a rusty fence gave way, he deterred above a wine grinder. In that moment, Kristen's resolve crystallized. She let him fall, a choice that echoed through her soul. Panic yielded to calm, and she left the scene. Italy held her, and she assumed her role as Donna Bolano. In prison, Mamoni received a chilling gift, a bottle of wine containing Fabrizio's finger, a macabre reminder of Kristen's power. As Nikki and Paul departed for America, they witnessed people honoring Kristen by kissing her ring. Her newfound authority didn't alter her core. She prepared a mix of nuts for her children, a mother's love undiminished.